So you guys asked me to share some work, and here's my own bicycle app. This is a master blueprint. So what a master blueprint does is it shows you what is actually live on production in code. And it's kind of a version control process for design. So here you can see, what is this? This is the Android master blueprint onboarding flow. So you can see here, you kind of go through the sign up process. And then there's 3 branches, and either you choose to buy a bike or sell a bike, or you choose to skip. And then there's every single screen that's involved in that. All of these screens are timestamped with precise markers on when they were added to this file and when they were merged from the specification files that were then deleted. I'll show you that in a second. And then basically you kind of go through and you see how that works. A lot of these files are also potentially cross-linked, so here's a paywall. You want to see what the paywall does. You click on the link and you're taken to the paywall file where you can see the paywall screen that appears throughout the app and every single permutation and version of it, and kind of edge case states and everything. And so everywhere this paywall appears in all of its states, it has these same links. And then we might go to the main tabs of this file, and in this configuration, whenever this loads, you'll see the main tabs of the app. So for every tab, every single state, every permutation, every single thing is time-stamped, so you know exactly how reliable it is to make decisions on or pull into a template to start work. And then you can see this for, this is an independent subscription screen, different slightly flowed. This is the component for the paywall that you saw earlier, the tutorials, the little bit of the affiliate system, some of the authentication system. This is the whole filter system. This is the whole search system documentation. This is how a listing is created for a bicycle part, or a wanted listing, or a wanted listing for a part. This is how listings look in any kind of state if you were to open them in the app. This is if you were to edit a listing, this is how that looks. Now, if we go to the iOS blueprint, you will see the same exact level of precise documentation for iOS. Every single state of every single screen, every single edge case, everything perfectly documented and time-stamped. This is the main tabs. This is the iOS version of the onboarding system that you saw before, the operating level states like in Apple Spotlight, the subscription independent flow, like if you were to get into buying a subscription from somewhere in the app independent of a paywall appearing in the app somewhere. The subscription paywall for iOS, the affiliate system component, the contact and payment methods system employed throughout the app, entry fields that the team and I have been in the middle of upgrading throughout the app, the tooltips, authentication methods, listing item creation, listing item view, listing item edit. I'm just flying through all this. Listing brand view, seller profile, the assistant view. I don't think this is used anymore. Listing view, make offer, the filter screen, the search system, some documentation on notifications, how the logic for sharing works, the settings screen. Anyway, you get the point. What I was going to also show you really briefly is how the pipeline works. So you have the iOS file, project, the Android project, the web project. So if you go into the iOS project, master files are pinned at the top and they're labeled correctly with the sun emoji, and then you have the different files in different states. So the basketball means it's ready to be dribbled. Work in progress is how it starts. Actually, you copy the template file, which is here, then it becomes a work in progress file. Then at some point, it becomes an approved file, so you get an approved emoji, and then a shipped icon is a rocket. I don't know if we're going to find a rocket. Things that are postponed for the future have a crystal ball on them. There's a couple of other states, like contractors asking for feedback is a waving hand. So all the files go through all of these stages, and once they go through all of these stages and they get to the dribble stage, they get merged back into these master files that I shared with you earlier, get posted to dribble, and then the specification file gets deleted. That's how that works. I hope you had fun learning about my little process that I've implemented at Lyft, then at OneSignal, and now use at my own company to really scale and do work very, very quickly without having to do audits every couple of days or weeks. Ciao!